What's going on YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of After the Movie. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the film from the 1990s known simply as Hackers. Now, I had never seen this movie before. I watched it with my friend who couldn't make it for the recording because they had to go. Well, we were trying to think of something to watch, so we were going through HBO Max. We were scrolling through, and it was like, we were like, we want something bad. We want something cheesy. We want something different. And then finally we got on to talking about Hackers because he's like, oh, you got to watch it. Matthew Lillard's crazy in the movie because, I like Matthew Lillard in a lot of his movies. He's usually pretty entertaining. So, like, I saw Angelina Jolie was in it, and there was someone named John Lee Miller. It was like this really 90s movie that's this crazy cyberpunk culture. And I'm like, let's check this thing out. So I finally sat down after all these years and I watched Hackers. And I'm kind of intrigued. Like, my response to Hackers is, I don't think it's a bad movie. I don't think it's like a great movie or really like an amazing movie or anything I'd recommend fully going back to watch, but it was an interesting movie. There's a few moments of humor. The world itself is really unique. This is obviously set in the 1990s, and it has to deal with that, uh, cyberpunk, hacker culture, all that crazy stuff from the 90s, and it definitely is like a time frame movie. Like, just everything, like, we're gonna hack this, we're gonna hack that, hack the planets, and all that stuff. The technology is like so old in this thing that I'm like, how do you even like work this thing? Because obviously nowadays, I mean, there's so much that computers control. Even on my phone, like, it's more powerful than any computer you could see in that movie. It's amazing the things I'm able to do. I could talk to somebody like through my phone, like visually. I can stream off my phone. I can, like, look on the internet. I can do a lot of amazing things. And back then it was just, they had their little computers. They're using all this techno babble stuff, which I have no idea. It's like a completely like foreign concept to me because a lot of the technology utilized in the movie is so old. And I kind of love the fact that it's a bit of a time capsule movie. It feels almost kind of like a 1980s movie, but this is a 90s movie. Just the style and everything. Angelina Jolie's in there, and this is one of her first movies, I believe. It was her, the main actor, who I'm not quite familiar with. And then, of course, my favorite part of the movie is Matthew Lillard. I don't know what he was doing in this movie, but it is quite entertaining. He's got like this weird hairstyle, and he's got his like over the top like mannerisms that you would sometimes see in the movie Scream, where he just kind of like randomly would just be doing stuff. And I found it to be pretty funny. And then all these other characters who were just trying to, they're trying to hack like this one guy who's trying to steal money from people in their different transactions. The bad guy's name is Eugene, but he's got his little hacker name, and the movie kind of dives into that subculture, which I didn't really even know existed. I don't even know if this movie is really based on anything that's totally realistic or if it's kind of just a lot of it's made up because, again, I'm not really quite familiar with this cyberpunk culture. But I can see this movie having a cult following based on the way it's kind of shot. There are some interesting camera choices in the movie too. Stylistically, it is very unique, and I like that about it. Like, I like that it felt very different. Like, I can see this not being for everybody, but the style is unique. The characters themselves, they're kind of just okay. Nothing all that great, I'd say. There's some funny moments too. Like, each actor kind of has their own little quirks in there, and the bad guy is kind of fun at times, but also kind of just so. But like I said, the main draw of this movie is just kind of seeing this unique world and like this time capsule and diving into this whole era of just craziness that I didn't even know existed. I don't know if it's like fully based on anything realistic or if a lot of it's created for the movie. I'm sure a lot of this is pretty unrealistic what they're doing in this thing, but it is kind of fun and unique to see something like this. I'm kind of at a loss for words of what to say about Hackers because it's just one of those like unique movies from the 1990s that didn't really do well financially because I was looking at the box office and it initially had lost money but then kind of went on to become a cult film, and it's easy to understand why. Just the world, the sense of the characters in that, the way it's directed, and just kind of everything about it feels very unique and distinct from like a lot of other things at the time. So again, the thing I appreciate most about this movie is its uniqueness and how different it feels from a lot of the movies that came out in that time frame. And I feel like I'm going to this own unique, crazy world that I find pretty interesting, more so than the characters that occupy it. But the world itself is pretty interesting. And again, there's a few moments of humor in here spread throughout that make it, serviceably watchable. And if you're in for something a little bit different, I think Hackers is a movie that's worth checking out. Again, I don't think it's going to be something for everybody because I think the reviews for this thing were like initially pretty mixed. and over the time it has developed, like I said beforehand, a cult following. But just looking at it now, it is a unique little time capsule of this period in the 1990s. So there's that. Villain's kind of cheesy, has some fun entertainment value at times, and then there's other parts where I'm just like, yeah, I feel like if I would have liked some of the characters more, this movie could have stood out a bit more for me. Like the main character is just he's just kind of there. He was when he was a child, he hacked and took down like the I think it was the New York Stock Exchange or something like that, and then he was banned from using a computer for like 7-8 years. Then he gets into a cheesy hacking war. And again, just seeing the stuff on the screens, it just kind of makes me chuckle a little bit. It's like, I'm screen user crash, and you're screen user burn, something, something. And then, oh, I'm this, and I'm this. And you're like, oh, we got to hack this, man. We got to hack this, man. And it was kind of, it's pretty hokey in that regards because it definitely feels really dated. But again, that's kind of the charm of the movie. So yeah, I'm not sure what else I can really say about this thing. I really wish my friend was here because he's a big fan of this movie and he would have more to say about it than I would. So, and again, just trying to just talk about it like in this video. I'm just trying to think of what I can say about it. It's just kind of one of those things that you have to experience. So I wouldn't highly say it's an amazing movie or anything like that, but it is an interesting movie to check out. I think there's going to be a lot of people who will like it, and then a lot of people who would just be like, yeah, that was kind of that. I don't think it's terrible by any means. I think it is worth checking out just to see this unique time capsule and diving into a culture which hasn't really been showcased too much in movies, a lot of movies from what I've seen. Obviously, there's the upcoming Cyberpunk video game, and if you want something with that type of vibe and that type of culture, you'll definitely get that in this thing. And again, some of it's just, there's some bits where I'm just kind of chuckling. I'm like, how am I supposed to take this bad guy seriously? It's like, he's like, my name is Eugene. And then he's like going on his little skateboard thing. He's like, and they're trying to copy their floppy disks. And again, really dated, but that's kind of the fun of it. So, yeah, I'm trying to think what else I can say. Again, this is just an after the movie initial thoughts after watching Hackers. Yeah, I'd say check it out. It's on HBO Max. It's not that long of a movie. It's under 2 hours, I believe. And if you want to see an early in her career Angelina Jolie, who is actually pretty good in this movie, then check out Hackers. It's worth checking out at least once. You may like it, you may dislike it, you may be like, well, JT's are boring, you just made me waste all this time just for this flippin' movie. But again, I think the movie will have an effect on a lot of people differently. It's not one of those things where it's just gonna be like it's gonna be a universally loved thing. I think it's gonna be kind of one of those things where like somebody may just not really like it so much, and then another person's really gonna like it. It's gonna be kind of one of those mixed reception movies. So, yep, that's Hackers. Those are my initial thoughts on it. It was intriguing. It was intriguing. That's all I can really say about it. So, anyways, what are your thoughts on the movie Hackers? If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Maybe come back to this video sometime later and let me know your thoughts on it. I'd love to hear it. I got some more content coming up. I've decided to start experimenting with the little thing. I did a live stream today that went over pretty well. I got a lot of people to watch it, and we're going to be, I'm we start talking about some more different things on the channel. So, and a little different format for covering news and updates and stuff in that regard. So, look forward to that. Look forward to more content. And as always, thank you all so much for watching this video. Take care now. Bye-bye then. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace. #HackThePlanet. Poof. And